Do you want to be worshipped or do you want equal rights? The latter option might be sliding into our minds right now, but was it the same case, say, a century before? Let's revisit this question once more at the end of the video and dive into the historical panels first.
There are instances in India where women chose to or were forced to die. It was in the practice of sati. Do you know what is the meaning of sati?
The word sati literally means a good wife or a good woman. However, the practice of sati refers to a widow burning herself in her husband's funeral pyre. How did this escalated and reach to this?
Sati system in India is said to have its traces back in the 4th century BC. Incidents of sati were first recorded in Nepal in 464 CE and later on in Madhya Pradesh in 510 CE. It then spread to Rajasthan where most number of sati cases happened. Was it a Hindu custom?
Many people believe it to be a Hindu religious custom. The truth, however, might be different. In Shiv Puran, Sati was the wife of Shiva, who was enraged by her husband's disrespect by her own father and hence burnt herself in his yajna for revenge.
Even in Ramayana, Sita stepped into fire to prove her chastity. We do not find any text in the religious scriptures that support this practice of sati as we see it. There were never any institutions to enforce this practice.
Now the question arises, is it right to blame women for practicing sati? Did they practice it voluntarily or involuntarily?
Many times, women used to perform this voluntarily. Shocking! Let's explore the reason. For a better understanding of this, we have to think like a person of those times.
The practice of sati originated with the ideas of an afterlife and that a dutiful wife has lots of powers that can even bring her dead husband back to life. Now we can further have a look at 3 stages of a dutiful wife.
The first stage is Pativrata, where the woman always followed the orders of her husband. The second is Sativrata. When the husband dies, the blame is on the wife. And by performing sati, she becomes Sativrata and will be endowed with supernatural powers. The third is Sadimata, where she becomes a deity for her entire family. What may be the reason for such voluntary performances?
I think it was the honor associated with it. It was believed that since being sati was such a big sacrifice, the woman will be reborn into a higher caste. And due to this very reason, the Brahmin women were excluded from practicing sati as they were already of the highest caste there was. At what degree do you think a woman needs to be brainwashed in order to burn herself alive?
The deep-rooted patriarchy and caste system in the society even thought of finishing off these widows along with their husbands, as they won't create any further problem in the society by marrying a person of lower caste and thereby breaking the caste system.
Do you know about the role of British in the sati tradition of India? The records of sati, as we see now, basically of Bengal, are found to be exaggerated ones. But why? The Britishers wanted to present India as a land of evils in their parliament and showcase that they are inevitable for Indians and thus should be granted permission to rule here. Strange, isn't it?
When have you listened to the last incident of sati? Do you remember? It's the Roop Kanwar case of 1987 officially. She was an 18-year-old Rajasthani girl and her married life lasted 8 months. Her performance of sati shocked the nation. It led the central government to pass Commission of Sati Prevention Act. Let's bow our heads before all these victims and the efforts taken by all the social reformers to abolish this practice.
The name that first comes to our mind when we hear about abolition of sati is that of Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Brahmo Samaj. He wrote articles in his journal Sampat Kaumudi advocating its prohibition. William Carley, an English missionary, also fought against this barbaric practice.
Sati was officially abolished on 4th December 1829 by Lord William Bentinck through Sati Regulation Act 1829, which bans it throughout the company's jurisdiction in British India. In 1861, after the control of India went on to the British Crown directly, Queen Victoria issued a general ban on sati throughout India.
Revisiting these horrors of the past has made us realize that for centuries we have been burning both physically and metaphorically in the flames of patriarchy. Isn't it about time that we break the norm and ask, till when?
Have doses of learning and unlearning with our new videos every Thursday. Like, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.